David Montgomery appearing to be done for the season with the MCL injury, getting further tests, seeking other opinions. Whenever you start seeking other opinions, that means you're trying to find a different outcome than the one you've been given. Jahmyr Gibbs goes to the absolute moon. I'm not trying to sit here and celebrate injury. We wish David Montgomery well. Sonic and Knuckles has been good to us. And we don't really want Gibbs as the lone starter for 17 straight games. We've said this before. And what is amazing, though, is there's only a certain, risk level you can apply to this situation by saying, oh, he starts the final 2 games by himself. There's nothing that's going to make me scared of breakdown or too many carries between the gut, right up the gut. All the brutal stuff that Monty takes on that puts the wear and tear on Monty. Not worried about that for a 2-week time frame. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to the mother freaking moon. No, he's going to Saturn. He's going to Saturn. He's maybe going to Jupiter. I believe we're going to have Jupiter men in 2025. And I right here, right now, anoint Jahmyr Gibbs the first Jupiter man. I'll create a situation for it here so we can put it up on screen. But Jahmyr Gibbs will be the first Jupiter man. And dare I say, and I said this all yesterday, this is a top 3 overall pick for me in 2025. You can laugh at that if you want. I think right now people won't, but yesterday there was a little pushback. Like Smitty, Monty's still there. Monty will still be there. And we want Monty there. But Gibbs is going to Jupiter next season. He is a top 3. With Jamar Chase, he's a top 3 overall pick in 2025, whether you like it or not. Jahmyr Gibbs, this show's for you, pal. The Fantasy Football Show, breaking news show. The Jahmyr Gibbs going to mother freaking Jupiter show begins right now.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever. Got him.
But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. This man, Jahmyr Gibbs, he looks better than Kamara looked coming out of college, more prepared to become Kamara.
Smitty, did you just say Gibbs was more prepared to become Kamara than Alvin Kamara was prepared to become Kamara?
That's what I said. That's what I said. Monty done for the year, most likely. They're going to do further tests. There's a possibility he's around for the playoffs. It's hard to know. But right now, his fantasy football season appears to be fully done and complete, sealed in a box and wrapped up and ready to maybe reopen in 2025. This man has only 2 weeks left of you to worry about overworked, usage or anything like that. Nor am I even worried about the playoffs. This guy can handle 6-7 games, 5, 6, 7. Like, I'm never worried about 5, 6, 7 games of full workload and usage. But let me make something abundantly clear. Monty scares me zero in terms of ranking this guy for 2025. Like when I say he's a top 3 pick next year, people go, somebody said it in my chat and the Discord right away. Oh, that's a bold statement if Monty's still there. We need Monty there. The Lions run the ball 550 to 572 times this season. Let's do the math for those of you that went to school and spent your parents' money. Let's say 555 divided by 2 is 277.5. We don't want Monty or Gibbs getting over 277.5 carries anyway, which means you need a Sonic and Knuckles, which means on the course of a season, with 550 times you're running and toting the rock, you need somebody there to get it at least 200 times, 220 times, in addition to Jahmyr Gibbs' 220, 240 carries. I'll take 240. I'll take 250. But I don't want him running 280, 325 times. That's not him. He's a receiving back and running back hybrid. He needs 225 to 250 carries maximum, which means you have somebody like Knuckles that's going to come in and take 220. What is wrong with people? What makes somebody think that Monty has anything to do with whether this man is going to Saturn or not? This man goes up in value just by walking on the field every single time he steps foot on it. And he's a top 3 overall pick in 2025, whether Monty's healthy or not. So you can say whatever you want about Monty and Gibbs and Monty. Don't worry, Monty will be back. You're just a Gibbs hater. You're a Gibbs hater. Don't say you're not. Don't say I like Gibbs. I own Gibbs. Don't say it. Don't say it. If you're going to say something like Monty affects Gibbs, don't say it. You're not a Gibbs truther. You're not a Gibbs believer. You're trying to find a reason to justify your inability to draft him more than you should. You're trying to justify why Gibbs can't be as good as you say he's going to be, Smitty, because I didn't draft enough of him. I don't have him in a dynasty league, Smitty. No cake for me. No cake for me, Smitty.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back.
Awesome news to hear of an injury, ? Steven, I don't know if you're trying to be funny. You can clarify what you're trying to say here. I don't know if you're trying to be funny, if you're just saying, what are you saying? This seems like a dig, Steven. This seems like a dig, Steven. It seems like you're trying to say something bad about me because you didn't draft enough Jahmyr Gibbs shares. You sound bitter, Steven. You sound like maybe you lost your league, or you're about to because you have only Monty, and you're mad and you're trying to lash out at me. Well, you can lash out at Papa Bear all you want. I'm here for you, bro. I can take it. I'm a tough cookie. Go ahead and lash. Lash out, Steven. You lost Knuckles and you're mad at somebody. Go ahead. Bring it, Steven. My phone line's even open for you. You want to try and lash out at me? I think that's what you're doing. Who dat coming in with a strong $10 hauler, says up, Smitty. I'm on a bye this week, but a little dilemma. I have DK Neighbors, BT Addison need to start 3 of them. Do you bench DK? Can't believe I'm even asking that. Gibbs to Pluto. BT Neighbors and Addison. I mean, based on their performances, you gotta roll with the hot hands. DK's not a hot hand right now. He is not a hot hand at all. Nope, I have Gibbs. I don't know what you meant. We're not. The question mark is insinuating as if I'm in here celebrating an injury, like I'm not supposed to break the news. That's what it felt like, Steven. But congratulations on having Gibbs. But you can explain what you meant. I don't think you're explaining it. Marco says, calm down, Smitty. Here, Marco, you calm down. Marco, I'll put you in a little timeout. How about that? We'll put you in a timeout for, let's call it 10. We'll call it 5 minutes. Marco, so that you don't have to deal with anything right now. It seems like you're a little overwhelmed with the situation, Marco, and your negativity that you bring to the chat every single day. So why don't you sit and stew for 5 minutes? I was wrong. Gibbs to Andromeda. Smitty undefeated. Thank you, Max. What do you mean you're wrong? Were you against Gibbs at the beginning of the year? I don't even remember. I don't remember at all. Richard wants to be timed out. Richard, I'm going to time you out right now, young man. You ask for it, you get it. Let's put it in for 1 minute, Richard, just so you can get a feel for what it feels like to be timed out. Richard wants to taste it. Richard wants to taste a timeout. He says, Smitty, put me in timeout. Put me in timeout. I want it. I'm a glutton for punishment. Do it live. There you go. 1 minute for you. 1 minute for you. Man. Oh, I was saying Tracy over Gibbs. Hey, Max, are you the one that Heating was the guy. Heating was the guy saying Gibbs was below Tracy. But I guess you were doing it too. So shame on you. But that's all right. That's all right. We appreciate your honesty. Down by 35. I have Bijan and McCormick. Any chance or any changes? Bijan and McCormick. Any changes or I don't know what change you could make. I mean, how would I know, Thomas? You haven't listed anybody. But no, I mean Bijan and McCormick are good. I don't know who you could swap McCormick out for, but you'd have to give me the options. But I mean, those are two pretty decent options. Is there any chance? Okay, Thomas wants to know any chance. Down by 35, Bijan and McCormick. Yeah, definitely a chance, bro. Like if I'm him, I'm worried, bro. I'm worried because you got two players that are going to come in hot. Max is Heating. Heating is Max. Are you both Heating and Max? Okay. Thank you for at least admitting you're wrong. At least admitting that you came in and had a hot take, and not only did you have a hot take saying Smitty, Tracy's better than Monty. You came in with a little bit of attitude, but you're saying you apologize, so that's awesome. Appreciate you. I didn't know you were both Heating, Max and Heating. Saying Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. Dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Max is watching it as Heating up on one device and watching it as Max on the other device. That's phenomenal. I love the way you think, bro. I love the way you think. That's how you operate when you watch the fantasy football show. Max has got it down. Max, I appreciate that. London prediction tonight, 80 and a touch. 80 and a touch. Young, you're live, Young.
Yeah, hey, what up, Smitty?
What's up, bro?
Hey, yo, how's it going? I got Drake. I'm up 17 right now, and I have Drake London. He's still gonna play tonight, but the other guy has
Spit it out.
what the fuck?
Spit it out, bro. You can do this. You can do this, bro.
Bro, I'm sorry. Hold on. It's right here. It's right here. Oh, he's got DJ Moore and the
You can do it.
Minnesota kicker, bro.
Okay, so DJ Moore, Minnesota kicker versus London.
Yeah, and I'm up 17 already right now. And I got Gibbs too, man. So I'm excited to get to next week.
Yeah, you got it. You got this, bro. Nice job. Nice job.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. Thanks,
you want a stamp of approval? I'll give it to you. There you go, bro. Yeah, Gibbs to the moon. Gibbs is going to be unbelievable in the next 2 weeks. And I don't think this won't be, I know what some people might be thinking, right? Like, oh, but Achane is kind of the lone guy now, and he's not doing it. I know a lot of people are going to think that way. This is not the same usage. Miami Mike McDaniel is a moron. The way he play calls is ridiculous. Interrupting Mike. Mute yourself real quick, Mike. Good Lord. He's on a space shuttle heading to the Andromeda Galaxy trying to find Jahmyr Gibbs so he can get his autograph. That's what interrupting Mike is doing. He's trying to interrupt the show. But Young, this is not the same. This is not the same thing. Gibbs is going to be thrown to. He's going to be run up the gut. He's going to be run on sweeps. They're not just going to say, hey, Achane, run 11 times up the gut, getting swarmed before you even get to the line of scrimmage. No more outside runs. You know, a lot of passes they throw to Achane, but they don't use Achane properly at all in Miami. This is going to be an unbelievable sight. They're going to feed this man. He's going to be all over the field. He's going to have at least one multiple touchdown game in the next 2 games, in my opinion. He could have 4 touchdowns in the final 2 weeks. Gibbs is going to be used differently. Gibbs is going to be the prime example of how you use one running back, Miami Mike McDaniel, if you decide to try and use Achane properly. And Achane still gets it done because he catches a lot of footballs. He ends up getting 12, 11, 13 points in a very bad game. But this guy's going to have 150 yards, 2 touchdowns in one of these games, one of these 2 games. It's going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be a Christmas miracle, bro. I'm excited.
All right, later, Young.
Later, buddy.
It's going to be Sonic and Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog Part 1, when it was just really about him. Go ahead, interrupting Mike. Turn your space shuttle sounds back on.
Yo. Hey, Smitty, I'm going to try to be quick, man. I started watching your show last year, and I ended up making the finals in all 3 leagues.
Attaboy.
And this year, I haven't called in a lot, but I'm still doing good. I advanced 2 teams so far.
Attaboy.
And tonight, to get the third team in the semifinals, I just need Jordan Addison to score 7 points, baby. 7 points. Just wish me luck.
You
calling in and say what's up.
You want me to anoint it? Here we go.
Good. I need you to
Jordan Addison, you shall score 8+ points tonight. Go do it live.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Give it to
Do
him.
the damn thing.
Give it to him. All right, later, bro.
Come on. Appreciate you, man. Peace.
All right. Let's do the damn. Isn't that? Let's do the damn thing. That's from like The Bachelor, bro. What do you bring? What are you bringing Bachelor lines into this thing? Heating up. Here he is. Here's Max. Here's the guy that tried to ridicule me like I'm a moron about Tracy versus Gibbs the other day. But go ahead, Heating.
I thought it was a bad take, man.
The
I was wrong.
The whole room, the whole world disagreed with you though. Like it's funny that you.
I know.
Yeah, but hey, like this
I was just
this
real
doesn't
hopeful.
really change anything though. Like this is a end of the season situation. Like you really backing off your prediction that Tracy's better than Gibbs because Monty got hurt for the end of the fantasy football 2024 season. Like that doesn't change the general sense of the argument that you're trying to make. Huh?
Better player-wise, it was always Gibbs. I was saying, like, fantasy opportunity outlook, I thought Tracy had a better shot once Danny Dimes went down, and it was just Tracy getting the ball.
Look, I like Tracy, who's older than Jahmyr Gibbs, by the way. He's his father. Tracy's one of the oldest rookie running backs we've seen in some time. Ziggy, how old is Tyrone Tracy?
Tyrone Tracy Jr. is 25 years old and was born on November 23rd, 1999.
He turns 26 in November. He's an old dog. I like him, but that does put him in a pretty curious spot. You know, turning 26, bro, you turn 27 when you start getting worried about, old age for an RB. Like, this guy's got a year and a half left. I like Tracy a lot. I do. I wonder what the Giants are going to do next year with that running back situation. We have the projected draft order for 2025 NFL draft right here. Sorry, it's a little blurry. The Giants are definitely, the number 1 overall pick. They're definitely going quarterback. So there's no opportunity.
I was hoping that they don't. I'm hoping that they trade down and take Genty, punt on quarterback for the next
Genty, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? You believe in Tracy or you don't? Now you want them to take Genty because what? Tracy didn't even get hurt. Monty got hurt, and now you're wanting them to move on from Tracy? Have some commitment, my guy.
I do, but I'm saying that if Tracy can get that far at 26, imagine what Ashton Genty could do.
True,
in that offense.
that's true, but it's still a wild take to be in here barking about Tracy versus Gibbs the next minute you want to replace Tracy. Anyway, Giants, maybe if the Giants were smart, they would mortgage their entire future draft pick, as far as you can go. You give up two and a half rounds of picks, or 2 years of picks at least. Second first, to get the second rounder moved up into a position to take Ashton Genty with taking Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. If you're smart, you do that. Neighbors, Genty, Ward, or Neighbors, Sanders, and Genty. If I was Joe Shine, I'd get my Shine box, and I would make that happen. I would shine as many shoes as I needed to in order to get a trade like that underway. That's how you turn a franchise around. They run the ball well.
Just terrible enough next year to get Travis Hunter.
Who?
Then be just terrible enough to get Travis Hunter next year too. Or is he going in the draft
next year? Bro, Travis Hunter is going to go in the top 3 in this draft. He didn't. Come on, bro. Pay attention. Pay attention. He just won the high.
Finish him. Call terminated.
What in the hell is going on with this guy? Jeez. Travis Hunter. Next year they'll draft Travis. Travis Hunter is going in the top 3 in this draft. Read the room, bro. Read the room. Good Lord. 347. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Larry. I'm calling from Jersey.
Larry from Jersey. I don't remember the last time we had a Larry phone caller. What's up, Larry from Jersey? How are them drones, bro?
Huh?
How are them drones, bro?
These drones are crazy. These Charbonnet season drones are going crazy over here.
Yeah. Travis Hunter. Next year they can get Travis Hunter. Eating. Come on, bro. Pay attention. All right, go ahead, Larry. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to come on to a topic you mentioned about Higgins and the Cincinnati Bengals, right?
Yeah.
And my thought process on this is, I was thinking that Higgins actually goes to a different team because he's so injury prone, especially the last couple of seasons with his hamstring, that if they could get another rookie wide receiver, pay him less, because you know how the Bengals don't like to pay their players, so they could pay him less, develop the wide receiver with Jahmyr Chase, so they could essentially trade him for a good draft pick, or even, just a good draft pick.
I mean, that's definitely, let me just stop you there. That's definitely in the cards. Number one, they did that, though, drafting Burton. Burton was a first-round caliber player. Burton was like a top 4 caliber player, at the wide receiver position. But there's a lot of reasons some teams passed on him, so he ended up being quite a steal. So Jermaine Burton's already, even though he didn't do it enough this year to make us feel great, he is that prospect, bro. But so so you got to think about this. The Bengals, what are they struggling with? Defense. Defense. Maybe protecting Joe Burrow even more. Whatever that, and in conjunction with defense. Their defense is dog water, bro. Joe Burrow's having the best year he's ever had, and they can't win. They're not playoff bound. They're losing. Joe Burrow's on fire. Joe Burrow's playing like an MVP, and they can't win. I understand Higgins is a part of this, but is he really? How much has Higgins truly had to do with what Joe Burrow's doing right now? He's solid, but Yoshi Voss has stepped up. Burton's a really good prospect. They don't need a wide receiver if they trade that pick. I hear what you're saying. It would be interesting if they got a really good wide receiver. But Burton's good enough that I think you take the chance for a year, you improve the defense, bro. You trade Higgins, you franchise tag him, you trade him. The team that trades for him signs him to a long-term deal. And then you get a pick that can allow you to get a defensive player.
Yeah, I can see that happening too. Also, for the drafting, the Giants, I was really hoping they don't go QB route here, because
it's the second time that's been said.
They keep on I don't promote tanking, but you go in and you go get a
Travis Hunter?
running back, or Hunter too. Hunter would be a great addition.
The next year?
And then you go get a Justin Fields, and then you develop. You go get offensive line during the off season, or
a couple defensive pieces as well. And then by the time Archie Manning comes out of college,
I mean,
you already have players
look,
developed.
in theory, I understand what you're saying. Like if you could sit here and go, I don't think you're winning with Cam Ward for a while, but I have a crystal ball, and if you improve the offensive line, you do this, and then you come back and you get. But what if, bro, you don't have the right draft pick? What if it doesn't work out? What if the quarterback class is not as good as you want? Right now, you have the opportunity to draft the number 1 or the number 2 overall player. You cannot ever feel guaranteed to have this position again. This is projected as of right now. You have to take your shot, especially when there are 2 quarterbacks that are as good as Shedeur and Cam Ward are. These are 2 very good prospects. You have to take this gamble. You can't. There's no other way about it. Not to mention, you also got to think about, will Neighbors even be healthy if you try and put him through multiple years of not having the right quarterback, throwing him hospital balls? He's not an injury-prone player, but he was very injury-prone and will remain injury-prone because of the hospital balls being tossed in his direction and the drive and determination he has to try and make every play count. So he's extending himself. He's falling down weird. He's hitting his hip. He's landing on his arms, trying to get a ball that's thrown too far out of bounds, and he's reaching for it, gets concussed. He got a concussion because of a hospital ball. You can't put him through 2 years while you try and play 8D chess with your quarterback situation. I get what you're saying. It's a logical, pipe dream thought, but you have the number 1 or the number 2 most likely overall pick. You have to take Ward or you have to take Shedeur Sanders. And I think Shedeur Sanders is the pick for whoever has the number 1 overall draft selection, because the Raiders and the Giants are the 2 teams that are going to be vying for those 2 top quarterbacks. I like Cam Ward a lot. I'm not saying Cam Ward isn't going to be better. I reserve the right to waver on that as we're heading into we're in the middle of December. But I will say Shedeur, I think with Neighbors would be phenomenal. What Shedeur did with Travis Hunter, the way he got him the football, the way that Shedeur keeps defenses honest, the way Shedeur operates his offense is very, in my opinion, conducive to Neighbors. I'm not saying Bowers wouldn't greatly benefit from Shedeur Sanders, but I think Cam Ward and Bowers would be a phenomenal pairing, and I think Shedeur and Neighbors would be an unbelievable pairing. And I think that's the call. If I'm the Giants, bro, I'm drooling over the opportunity to get Shedeur Sanders paired up with Neighbors. Have Tracy, who played very, very well. You have a very good core. And you got a lot of free agency and draft picks still to build around that for an immediate turnaround. Look, the Giants are they're pretty decent, bro. They're you put the way they've been running the ball and the way that they've been operating without a quarterback. They might be the quick turnaround Houston Texan team, bro.
Listen, we could, as a Giants fan, I'm hoping, but
you got to get rid of Scheinbachs, though.
I mean, to be honest, we did go to the playoffs with Daniel Jones. We got in there with Daniel Jones. I'm not saying that he was a bad quarterback. I just think he was an okay quarterback. He could beat the bad teams, the all right teams, but he couldn't beat the Chiefs or the Bengals.
You need to get rid of Scheinbachs, bro. You got to get rid of Scheinbachs. The problem is, if you draft Shedeur Sanders and he does well, Joe Shine's not going anywhere because they're going to be on the way up. If you draft Shedeur and you don't build him around him properly and you guys play horribly, Shine will be gone, but then you have this wasted year in confidence, shook Shedeur, and another year of Neighbors, getting in bad spots. I hope Joe Shine does not ruin this for you. I hope that he's handcuffed to a degree. He's going to have other people involved. He's going to relinquish his total decision-making ability to draft a player to his son. I hope his son, his 15-year-old son gets involved in the organization and starts making decisions. Because his son was sitting there going, "Hey, Dad," at his desk. "Hey, Dad, you should draft Jaden Daniels." In the Hard Knocks episode. His son knows more than him. Get your son involved. Get him a desk. Set him right next to you. And let your son make the decisions. Joe Shine. Get your Shine box, Joe. Worst GM in the league.
Also, one last thing. I'm sorry. Right now, I'm up 8 points in fantasy. I have Hawkinson left to play, and my opponent has Bijan. I just need, at most, 12 points from Hawkinson. 12 points. Do you think that could happen?
12 points from Hawkinson. Yeah, it's possible.
It's a long shot.
It's possible.
A long shot. But
it's possible. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Have fun with it, bro. Have fun with it. This is why you play. Don't be all panicked about it. Don't be a panic Peter. Realize the adrenaline rush is what got you into fantasy, so enjoy it. Now go get out there and do it. All right, later. Joe Shinebox, worst GM in the league. Cup floor is lower, though. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Cup, everybody's a little upset at Cup right now. Cup was wide open running down the field, and Stafford missed him. Like, he catches that 50, 60-yard touchdown. Everyone loves Cup. I'm not saying Cup does much next year. I don't know if he drops off. I'm just merely telling you this whole Cup is wash, Cup is garbage. That guy was trying his best, and he just wasn't getting the ball. You know, I blame Stafford, and I blame McVay. I blame a lot of people, but Cup was not one to blame. He was doing his best. He was literally 60-yard down the field, 60-yard touchdown, unguarded, nobody around at all. And he's like, throw it to me. And Stafford missed it. Now everybody hates Cooper Kupp. Box score Bobbies are all over the place, acting like Kupp dropped the ball. Kupp didn't even get the ball. All right, prepare for take one. All right, action.
He's a box score Bobby. He's a little sloppy. Box score Bobby.
All right, where was I? Where did I have this other super? I super chats on my screen. Where was that? Where was that? Here it was. Okay. Up 8, McCormick versus Myers and Aaron Jones. Am I toast? Up 8 with McCormick versus Aaron. No, you're not toast. That's totally... Thomas, if I was on either side, I'd be like, oh, this is going to be coming down to the wire. These type of games happen all the time. Aaron Jones could have 4 points, bro. He could have 18, but I was wrong. Gibbs to Andromeda. Thank you, Max, for admitting that. I think I already read that. Senior Rojo, thanks for another great season, Smitty. I had it until Adams went back in time to Green Bay. Down 50, Bijan left. What are my chances? With needing 50 points from Bijan, probably 3%, maybe 5%. I mean, I'm even giving you a little bit, I think, just to keep you going. But damn, 50 points depends on your scoring, though. You know, 50 points is a tall mother freaking order. It's possible. Smitty, week 16, start London or Cup. Let's let London play his game, PJ, and then decide. I think he has a good day, but that doesn't mean he'll repeat it the next week. So we will have to have a conversation about this. But I think people that act like Cup is washed and Cup goes to the bench, they aren't looking at the situation properly. They just aren't. I'm not saying anything about next year, but they're not looking at the situation properly. PJ says this, you can thank me for, or no, I'm sorry, Fire says you can thank me for that super chat from PJ. Thank you, Fire, for PJ's super chat. Thank you, Fire, for PJ going into his bank account and dropping a $2 hauler. I think you talked him into dropping a super chat, but I'm just laughing at you. Bijan projected for 20 points. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's a tall order asking for 50. I'm not saying it can't happen. Love or Murray this week? I don't think Kyler Murray deserves to even be talked about right now. Tyrone Tracy or Sincere McCormick going forward. Let's let the game play out. I think I'm probably going to go Tracy, but I reserve the right to change my mind based on watching some football. But right now, Tracy. Hey, Smitty, are you a Santa denier or a Santa truther? Thanks for the content. Well, I mean, I do have a Santa hat right here, my bro, and I do Santa Smitty segment. So I'll let you be the judge whether you believe in Santa Smitty or not. $2 for that coffee. Thank you, OG White. You're correct. You're welcome, Smitty. I'm a man of the show. Thank you. Commanders' best team in the NFC. Well, that's a bold statement, but I like the way you think. I think they're an unbelievable team that's on the rise, and they're playing unbelievable football, and they can knock off any team at any time. The question is, can they win consecutive games in a playoff type of environment? It will be fun to watch. But yeah, JD5 is an unbelievable, remarkable player. And this is a tough conference. They're both tough conferences, but you look at this conference and you say the Lions are just playing great football. The Packers are dangerous for any 1 or 2 games. Don't think they win enough. Again, it comes down to consecutive games. If I say, what's the likelihood that the Lions win enough consecutive games to win a Super Bowl? Under that amount of pressure. That's what it's about. You get in the bracket and you start saying, okay, any one game Green Bay can beat anybody. Any one game the Vikings can beat anybody. Any one game the Commanders can beat anybody. But the two teams that shine, and Washington's close, but they do feel like they can falter on, one game, and you're like, and then next year's going to be great. The two teams that have the most ability, and the Vikings are right there. Really, they are. They're playing that way. The Eagles and the Lions. But it is a tough conference. Over here, the Ravens, the Bills, you've got the Chiefs. Obviously, if Mahomes is good, and Mahomes does have a mild high ankle, we'll go over that later. This is a tough conference too, but I don't know. I kind of feel like this year the NFC is bringing the thunder, and it's going to be a great finish. I hope we don't, in some ways, I hope we don't have the KC matchup because of the low score, but I think that they start scoring a lot of points when they get in the playoffs. I think that Mahomes and the Chiefs will piss everybody off because Mahomes will start having 3 and 4 TD games in the playoffs, and everybody's going to be like, damn it, where was that? And they're going to be confused. They're going to be talking mad shiat about what he's going to do next year. It's going to be quite funny. I'll be back. Appreciate you. David Montgomery out for likely the fantasy season for sure. And then, who knows what's in store for his entirety of the playoffs. Right now it's being whispered that he's done for the entire season. Maybe the MCL injury can take 4 to, it depends how bad the injury is too. If it's a major injury, which it sounds like it is because they're getting second opinions already on Monday. We're already getting second opinions on Monday. And further testing, that sounds like it's more than the typical 3 to 4 week MCL injury. Keep in mind, he's had this injury before. And remember, we thought he tore his ACL and he just injured his MCL. Clearly, in the MCL injury, it's a strange one. Your knee, your MCL is on the inside part of your knee. This is your LCL. And the MCL is very, very sensitive. It's the most painful ligament to tear in the knee. Your ACL, you don't even feel the ACL. You feel the swelling and the damage in the bone that's caused when you tear the ACL out. And then the swelling rushes in. And usually you have a meniscus tear or bruise or MCL tear. When you tear your ACL and your MCL, the biggest pain you get is the rushing of swelling that pushes on the injured MCL. And the MCL, my MCL, I tore my ACL, MCL, meniscus. I tore my whole knee up. My MCL, 15 years later, still is painful when it gets cold. That's how bad MCL injuries are and how painful they are and how long they sometimes take to heal. There is a point where you get to a pain tolerance, not a re-injury piece of the recovery, but That's like 4 to 6 weeks out if this is a re-injury and a severe injury to a knee and an issue that he's continued to have. I don't know, though. I'm speaking a little bit out of turn. I don't know if this is the same MCL injury. It probably is, but I don't know for sure. So if this is new, that's an added dynamic of concern because now he's got 2 bad MCLs. So no matter what way you twist it, this is not good. It's not good to have multiple MCL injuries in both legs, and it's even probably a little worse to have a reoccurrence of an MCL injury that maybe didn't heal right, and when you tear the MCL a little bit and it tries to heal back, right, and build some scar tissue and stuff in the gaps and the tears, if it was almost a little bit too much to heal on its own without surgery, then you have, further problems down the line. And I'm not necessarily saying that's the cause. I'm just merely telling you this sounds like there's more going on than a typical medium rare MCL tear. So second opinions, further testing, obviously this is a mess. This guy's going to mother freaking Saturn. This guy's going to Jupiter, and maybe we'll crown him on the 8 p.m. show as our first Jupiter astronaut on this channel. Jupiter will be introduced for 2025. Now, I'll be dialing back the spots and slots available for the Mars, Moon, Saturn, and Jupiter men, so we don't have 8 to 10 of them on each board. I'll probably dial it back to like 4 or 5 for each board, given that we have so many different boards now. Because I want it to mean something. I want the Mars men, the Moon men, the Saturn men, the Jupiter men to mean something. And if there's 10 on each board, we might as well put the entire league on the boards. So I will dial it back to make sure that the meaning behind Jupiter, the meaning behind Saturn means something. I'll see you all in a little bit. Don't forget to get on over to the Patreon. The Patreon is linked in the live chat I'm going to drop it right now. I think it's pinned in the live chat right now. It's in the description of the video. 24/7, 365. The YouTube chat group is the group that's over here, and it's 365. $10 a month, cancel anytime. It's like a cup of coffee. Try it for 1 month. Don't forget to get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Use code DRAFT to get a 10% off. But understand if you buy the 2024 membership, you're only getting the remainder of the season. Look into the lifetime membership, and then you won't ever pay for content again. But a nice surprise coming to thefantasyfootballshow.com this year. I'm dividing the site into 2, essentially. Same site. You're not having to pay for different. I mean, there'll be a package for 2025 buyers that could say, I'll buy only the Dynasty content. But anybody that has a lifetime membership, you don't ever pay for content again. The site will be divided into Redraft and Dynasty so that there are 2 different pieces, 2 different ways to read content and 2 ways to kind of filter what you want to consume. Because this site 20 years ago when I created 24 years ago when I created it, and I've been in the industry that long, I started with content when there was maybe 10 fantasy football content sites up. Your boy has been innovating, creating the first that I know of trade calculator, front-facing, instant-based trade calculator in the industry. It's why I got in the industry to begin with, was to create a trade calculator because no one had one. And it's enhanced. It's redone. It's been enhanced now. You truly have an ability to add almost unlimited number of players on each side of a trade, a 1 for 5. And it uses auction dollars. But the way that you add players has now been enhanced. It's a much more enhanced trade calculator. I try and improve it every year. And so this site was founded on a lot of Dynasty content. The core user base of my thefantasyfootballshow.com is Dynasty. So I've been writing a lot of redraft content lately, and I feel like it's gotten away from the soul and heart of what thefantasyfootballshow.com has been and supposed to be, which is a big Dynasty content, platform with redraft, of course. I feel like it's redraft's taken over, and there's no way to decipher whether you can get your Dynasty redraft content. You can't filter it. You can't find it. I've decided to make a change. It's going to be Redraft and Dynasty divided, very easily attainable. Player profile pages for every player, and it's going to be remarkable. So buckle up. Make sure you get your thefantasyfootballshow.com membership going. I'll see you all at 8 p.m. Eastern. Deuces.